There was a leak over at Anthropic. Apparently there was some back door left open to their content management system, and they found a whole bunch of files. But the one that's particularly interesting is this blog post for a new model that they're calling Claude Mythos, which is allegedly by far the most powerful model they've ever developed. I can't help but feel like this entire leak is just a little bit suspicious. Let me give you the facts. So apparently they had all of these files on the server and they weren't password protected or anything. So for anybody who knew the URL schema, you could just download all of them. There are a bunch of files that were downloaded, and among them were this blog post for this new model. Now, interestingly, there were two versions of this blog post, one where they called it Mythos and another where they called it Capybara. These apparently refer to the same model, but it looks like Mythos is the more official name, right? If you look at it, it says Claude Capybara, and then it says we have finished training a new AI model, Claude Mythos. And it's like, which is it, bro? All right, but I like this part even better, where it's like Capybara is a new name for a new tier of model, larger and more intelligent than our Opus models. And then it says, we chose the name to evoke the deep connective tissue that links together knowledge and ideas. So just to be clear, this is a capybara. This apparently represents the deep connective tissue connecting knowledge and ideas. Anyway, it seems like the chosen name for this model is Mythos. And they make some pretty big claims for it. Mythos gets dramatically higher scores on tests of software coding, academic reasoning, and cybersecurity, among others. Now, I've seen these AI companies make a lot of big claims, and exactly 100% of the time, the reality never quite lives up to the claims. So I'll be very happy if they create a more powerful AI, but I'm taking all of this with a big grain of salt. Okay, but this is interesting. Because Anthropic is Anthropic, they're always very concerned with safety, which is good. Good for them. You know, somebody's got to be. But it's interesting because they suggest that this new model could actually pose a risk in the realm of cybersecurity, right? The idea here is that Mythos is so smart that people will be able to use it to expose weaknesses. And of course, you have to appreciate the irony here that the fact that we even know about this at all is allegedly because of Anthropic's own failure in cybersecurity. This is also pretty interesting. They actually talk about Mythos being extremely expensive, and they say we're working to make the model much more efficient before any general release, which I'm reading this to say the general release isn't going to be as good as the one that they're using now. All right, so then they say that they're going to take a gradual release to Mythos, that they'll be starting with a small number of early access customers, especially people in cybersecurity. Basically, they're going to let cybersecurity experts put it through its paces so that they can presumably make sure that it's safe for general consumption. All right, so that's the gist of it. Then we have some random weird looking art. Were these AI generated? Look at this. What is this? What's the point of this? The reason I find this suspicious is because it's just a little bit too perfect. Like, you would expect a security leak to be something a little bit more sensitive. And what was actually leaked here? A cleanly edited, curated blog post that announces a model release that's actually dated for this month, and we're at the end of this month already. Like, this is about a best case scenario for having a cybersecurity leak. If you were a big company and you were going to stage a leak, this would be exactly the right way to do it. Like, even this edge of danger that they're giving it, it just feels a little too on the nose. Like, it's just too good of a story, you know? And clearly it's working because here we are talking about it. What I've noticed with these models over the years is that, I mean, first of all, the story's always the same. Like, do you remember when they came out with GPT 4.0 and it was a total game changer? Then they came out with Gemini 2.5 Pro and software developers are cooked. And then Opus 4.1 and they're like, wow, something's really different with this model. And the reality is each one gets a little bit better. They get a little bit more useful. But we still need developers. We still need support people. We still need people who know how to use AI. It's the thing that I keep saying on this channel. The purpose of AI isn't to replace us. It's to extend us. It's to allow one person to do more. And I can guarantee you with this new Mythos model, it's going to be the exact same story. You're still going to have to know how to communicate with AI. Your success now, today, or a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 months from now when they release Mythos, still depends on how effectively you can use language to communicate your intent. Your success depends on your ability to clearly communicate exactly what you want to do, or rather what you want your AI to do for you. To clearly understand what your intent is, and to be able to say step by step, first do this, then do this, then do this. To be able able to break down complex workflows into simple, easy to digest pieces, to make sure that the AI has the right context, and to make sure the results are always clean. Because I don't care how good Mythos is, it's still going to hallucinate, and you still have to be ready for that. But let me know what you think of all this. Do you think that Anthropic staged this release? Or this leak, rather? Tell me down in the comments. Also, do me a favor, hit that like button, and I'd love for you to stick around, so hit that subscribe button too. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.